And good morning to you. Back to the morning show. Hosting again, Brother Troy, and we have producing today, Reverend Dr. Carl Brinkley. And on the line, we have J and DL. Good morning, sirs. How y'all doing?
Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Troy.
Excellent, man. I was coming down the street. It was 37, and on Sunday, it's supposed to be 18, 17, something like that. That's not wind chill now. That's just straight up how cold it's supposed to be. With the chance of some precipitation on Monday, it's supposed to be a little bit colder than that. So
Wow.
we're coming into the winter, because we're not officially in the winter anyway, but still, in the midst of all this, it's going to be kind of chilly. But I'm sure you guys will be warm wherever you are.
Oh, yes. I'll be wearing my shorts and a T-shirt on Monday. I can't wait.
Yeah, right. Anyway, look, before we get into some other things here, I did want to, I texted you guys early, I did want to chat about the $900 billion spending bill, defense spending bill, the agreement between the Congressional House and the U.S. Senate. Inside of that is tribal recognition for the Lumbee Native Americans in Robeson County. And I'm telling you, man, I'm just ecstatic about this, so happy about this. They've been working on this for 130 years. And now here we are in the midst of this. It looks like they're going to get it passed the House, moving to the Senate on next week. Hopefully they get those votes. But the impact of not only Robeson County, and we're close by, Cumberland County, I'm almost certain this is going to pull us out of Tier 1 status. But I was listening to a report from former House Speaker Tim Moore, and he was talking about the impact for even the state of North Carolina with what's inside of this bill to help us with health care and a number of other things. But anyway, just huge news, man.
So it gives them, so just for the listeners and for me, actually, it would give them federal recognition as a tribe.
Correct.
And is this, I mean, the first thing you think about, honestly, I did, for revenue or casinos. Is that something that's already been, the health care is number one priority for the residents, for the citizens, but are they already thinking casino? Is that something that has been part of the conversation?
Based upon what I'm told by people that would know, they've already identified the spot and everything. They've already set aside all that. That's, of course, that's a part of the plan. But you think about now, they're right on 95. We're talking about on the 95 corridor. They're right in the middle of it because the 95 goes right through town. I mean, it's prime, bro. I'm just telling you, man, this is huge.
It is. It is. And one other question for you, and I know DL probably wants to pipe in. There is something that I remember reading where if you can prove that you are whatever percent Lumbee, there is financial gain for those individuals as well.
Oh,
so
no doubt
that
about
really
that.
could help out a lot of people, right? I mean, isn't that a big part? And that will help thousands of people, I would imagine.
Look, once this passes, and I believe that it will, Robeson County will be at the bottom of the barrel no more. I believe there's a scripture that says that the last shall be first.
Wow, that's impressive.
I'm telling, look, but I'm giddy about the whole thing. I'm excited about it. They've been fighting for it for 130 years, and not playing politics here, but just when President Trump was campaigning, he did go to Robeson County. He promised them that he would do this, and some people thought they would just, he's just talk, trying to get their votes, but
lip service.
but it looks like that's not the deal. It's coming through. DL?
Well, it's going to be good for the Robeson County corridor. You have the casinos, and I tell you what's going to happen also. It's going to be a big entertainment venue because you have a lot of, you think about growing up, they have these entertainers that go to these casinos and have these residencies there. So you think about it, Myrtle Beach, Robeson County, if these casinos come up, they're going to have these entertainers come in there, and you're going to be competing for that dollar. So it looks good for Lumberton. You know, like you said, Troy, bringing about a Tier 1 status.
Well, and you mentioned 130 years. That was before you, Troy, correct?
About 3-4 years before I was born, yes.
Okay, I just for clarification. Thank you.
but you know, but look, it's not just Robeson County. It's the whole state of North Carolina. That's what one of our congressmen, our key congressman, is saying, that yes, there's a huge impact for that, you know, southeastern North Carolina region. However, he's saying the whole state of North Carolina benefits to a great deal from this, you know. So I'm just excited about this. Excited about this whole thing playing out.
Have they done anything about economic impact? Have they talked about the dollars that they're are proposed or expected to be generated by this potential announcement? I mean, there must be something that's written in the legislation that they're projecting something, and I haven't seen anything.
Yeah, you know, I have not seen the bill. I'm trying to find the bill now myself. I don't know what the bill number is, but it's a $900 billion bill. 900 B with the B. $900 billion bill, spending bill. Of course, it benefits more than just North Carolina, but still, that's a lot of money. And that was the compromise between the U.S. House and the U.S. Senate, that spending bill.
That's great. That's great. That's very, very exciting news.
So, you know, well, again, and we're talking about a fight that they've been trying to obtain for 130 years. That's huge.
Yeah.
And so I'm happy for them. You know, it's just good to see things like this happen sometimes. You know, when you have people that are on the bottom and they're fighting to get on top, and now it looks like that they're going to have this. Reverend Paul Matthews, who is a native of Robeson County and still pastors a church there, First Baptist in Robeson, First Baptist Missionary Baptist Church. He pastors there. He said that at the intersection of 95 and 74, if you all are familiar with that, that's when you coming through on 95. 74 is one of those last exits before you get outside of the city limit. He said that that's where they've already set aside real estate and everything to start looking at putting a casino there and all the other. And, I mean, it's just exciting. Really, we are going to benefit from it without a doubt. And, again, for our Native American brothers and sisters in Robeson County, and also, you know, we have a sister station there in Robeson County as well. So, you know, we know, I forget what the call letters are there in Lumberton. WAGR. Yeah, WAGR. In Lumberton there, off of 5th Street, I believe it is. And so, look, we all benefit, man. Look, it's a good thing, bruh.
It's a great thing. It's a great thing. And what would be, I'm just sort of curious, with the Senate having to vote, is there any opposition to this?
Oh,
I mean,
that's
what are you
some,
hearing?
but it was a compromise bill. You know, they worked that out. The $900 billion compromise, that's something that they worked out previously. It's a spending bill. And so in the midst of all this, again, just great news. There is no kind of indication whatsoever that this is not going to pass the Senate on next week. So, you know, the biggest challenge was going to be in the House, you know, because you got 400 and how many members of the House? 435, something like that?
435, 435, right. Yeah.
Yeah, 435. But we just need a majority of the votes in the Senate. And again, huge step up for the state of North Carolina and certainly for Robeson County. And I believe that they finished 295 early for a reason.
Yeah, what timing on that, right?
Yeah, you know, because now, you know, I live off of Ramsey, man. Look, I can get to Robeson County. I get on there and I cut across, and I can get to Robeson County in like 20-some minutes. Whereas before, I'd have to drive downtown, cut across to get on 301, and then drive up 301 all the way to get to Robeson County. Now, you know, the 295 exit, it just cut across. That's a huge plus for us as well. Anybody that's headed driving south, that's great. I'm glad that we got that straight for our own personal community. But again, I celebrate our brothers there in Robeson County. I know some people that work there on a number of initiatives, nonprofits, the struggles that they've had with regard to so many things. And now this blessing coming to them from the federal government is not a handout. This is definitely a hand up.
Oh, no question.
Right.
Good stuff.
Yeah, it is. But anyway, though, look, going to go and talk about some other things here, too. So, DL, I was looking at the football pool. Everybody got it wrong last night. Everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Gee whiz. I mean, that's this. I heard you guys talking before we got on. They was talking about the big game. I believe the most interesting game that some people are looking at that has no implications whatsoever with the playoffs. But I would say that what happened last night, now the Carolina Panthers are
exactly
in the lead.
They're in first.
They're in first place in the NFC South. How about that?
Incredible. They play the Bucks twice.
Yep.
So it's going to be very interesting. One other comment I would make too is the fact that if Kansas City, on another note, loses to the Chargers this weekend, I think they may be mathematically out, which would be unbelievable. I think they're almost out if they lose. So, I mean, what a change in landscape from a year ago.
Yeah, that's what happens.
What do you think, DL?
Yeah, Jay, they already out. Kansas City is no path forward for them because Buffalo is clinging to the wild card. You're only able to get 3 wild card teams in, and Buffalo is definitely going to be one of them. And I think the Texans will be one, and then you have Jacksonville. So Jacksonville not going to make it.
Yeah. But, you know, I'm looking at the Vegas line, and so Kansas City is predicted to win that game, though. But we'll see what happens. You know, I'm not going to count them out because they're Kansas City. Kansas City.
Who are you picking for? I think the big game is Buffalo, New England. Who are you picking, Troy and DL?
Who?
And is New England for real?
I'm picking New England.
I'm picking New England.
I want Buffalo, but I'm picking New England. I want Buffalo.
Right. But anyway, though, so now, but the game that's probably likely to be watched is that the game between Chicago and Cleveland because of the quarterbacks.
Yeah, true. And what about Phillip Rivers? I think people are going to be watching that game.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's a joke, but
and Cam Newton is upset. He said, "Look,
I saw that.
I'm 10 years younger than that guy, man. You know, y'all didn't pick me."
Yeah. I saw him complaining about that, and it's not about look at Colin Kaepernick. Colin Kaepernick could have been no, that's not an option.
Can we get our 2 quarterbacks that nobody's thinking about? This is Phillip Rivers is a mistake, and Cam Newton would have been a bigger mistake. They picked Phillip Rivers because they want somebody that can sit in the pocket. Daniel Jones could sit in the pocket and throw. That's why he got injured, and Cam Newton can't sit in the pocket and throw. Indy season is over. Phillip Rivers is too old. He's 44. You can't get away from those. They're gonna put about 8 men on the line and say, Indy, run the ball with your running back, and they're gonna dare Indy to throw the football. Their season is done, unfortunately.
And they got the second best defense in the NFL behind the Texans, so they will be swarming, and Rivers will be in trouble.
Well, with this gray hair on my face, I don't like this age discrimination stuff going on. I don't like that.
What is that?
Yeah, he's not Tom Brady. Tom Brady left at 44, And you can tell by Phillip Rivers' face that he's put on a little weight since 20.
Oh, he has put on weight. No
you can put on, and it's an insult to these young guys out here. You know, these NFL players in their 20s.
Nah, man.
The average
You probably are old enough to remember Sonny Jurgensen, but how much weight
Of
did
course,
Sonny?
number 9. What? Number 9 Redskins.
Right, I'm saying, how much weight did he have on him?
A lot of weight.
Yeah, but the players were not fast and strong as they are now, though. That's the difference. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He's gonna have a tough time on if they start him on Sunday. I don't know why they wouldn't start the rookie or the second-year player who's younger. The Phillip Rivers thing seems to be like a publicity stunt almost.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. You know, I mean, I like to see. You know, I'm not going to judge him. I'm not going to prejudge him. That's what the word prejudice means. Prejudge. Let's see what he brings to the table. If he fails and he doesn't do well, then you know whatever. But you know, he might come out and be an old Joe Namath when he went to the Los Angeles Rams. Who knows? You remember when Namath left the Jets and went to the Rams? You remember that?
I do remember that.
Okay, all right.
I'm old.
Remember this
I'm
stuff.
old. I remember.
Well, all I remember about Joe Namath is he's calling for a victory in the Super Bowl, and he don't know how he got in the Hall of Fame because his numbers are ugly, but, you know, whatever.
Yeah, well, you know, he played for Alabama, Bear Bryant. He's originally from Pennsylvania. But anyway, though, you know, that's a different story. Well, look, before we go to the break, let me skip down to number 2, what we want to talk about. The antitrust lawsuit with NASCAR is settled.
Yeah.
Of course, in the middle of that, the iconic basketball star, Michael Jordan, that's a closed deal on the inside. But however, what about that? You know, you got the little guys saying, look, we want to have fun racing cars too.
Well, basically, what this was about, you have racing teams. Jordan's team, Jordan only had one other team owner that joined his side. The rest of the team owners didn't want to get involved, but they're going to benefit now. NASCAR owns a bunch of tracks, and they were not sharing the profits. And you're talking about media rights, and then you're talking about charter memberships. And so that's what Jordan was suing them about. And now NASCAR has made some concessions, and everybody's going to get a little bit more a piece of the pie.
Right. Jay, your comments?
Well, my thought is, I mean, I read a little bit about it. Like, they have been shutting out some of the little guys and making a boatload of money for years. And I think it's about time that it's sort of like Samson versus Goliath. That's what I just remember reading. And while Michael Jordan has deep pockets, the profits have not been spread across the field evenly. And I don't know what the results were and how much they settled for, but I think it made a lot of sense that someone sort of challenged sort of the good old boy network. And that's really what it was.
Right.
Yeah, because if you think about it, if NASCAR is owning the track, because NASCAR's got to pay a bunch of people to put on, you got a lot of things that go into a race, you know, security and staff at that racetrack. And NASCAR was owning some of that. And so that's like a lawyer hiring the private investigator and having a bunch of conflicts of interest in situations, and that didn't look too good. And so Jordan did what other owners didn't want to do because Jordan can afford to be the bad guy.
Yeah, exactly. Are you guys NASCAR people? I am not.
I am not.
Now,
DL, you going to a lot of races?
No, not since Daryl Earnhardt, Mooresville, where I was born at, you know, his headquarters is down there. Mooresville has a lot of NASCAR headquarters, team racing headquarters down there. Now, I don't know the names no more. Since Daryl Earnhardt and the late Daryl Earnhardt, his son, and what's the other guy?
I remember Gordon or something.
Yeah, Gordon.
Jeff Gordon.
Yeah, Jeff Gordon.
Jeff Gordon, that's who I remember.
Yeah, I don't know any of these people no more. The Petties, I don't watch it no more.
I don't either. I think and actually, just one quick, I think NASCAR ratings have fallen, and I'm not even sure where attendance is now. They have struggled a bit.
what I found to be interesting was that Michael Jordan, he said, he grew up. His dad was a big fan of NASCAR, pack him in the cars, and they would go to Rockingham, Richmond County, down there, and they would go to various things. So actually, Michael Jordan grew up in a home where they went to a lot of those, per his statement. I saw him talking about it. I thought that was interesting. Now, I have some relatives. Matter of fact, I have some brothers. They go, and I guess I need to get with them and drive down there one time. All that noise and that rubber and all that stuff sitting there, I don't know about all that, man, because, you sitting near the track, man, all that peeling rubbers on you and all that other stuff. And, I was a little nerdy for that, but they're a little different from I am.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
Yeah, I had a great aunt. If she would have still been living, she'd have been 96. She stayed in Philly. When I went to visit her, I was at Fort Dix for some military training back in 16. I went to her house, and she said she watched NASCAR every weekend. Now, she migrated to Philly back in the mid-'50s, but she was a big NASCAR fan.
But you see, I just never understood that. Now, I had the little things on, you buy a little toy, where they could run around the track, and I could do that, but I could watch the toys go around the track. But just sit there and watch TV with cars going round and round, that was just, I don't know, to each his own. I'm not criticizing, I'm not judging, but that's kind of deep, don't you think? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I always waited for the crashes. That was the only thing that interested me when they piled up. That was a little exciting, but other than that, round in circles. Maybe that's not a appropriate thing to say, but I think a lot of people like the crashes.
Yeah. Okay.
We don't want to see anyone die. We just like to watch a little bit of action.
Yeah. Well, look, I know we need to go to a break, but you're going to have to leave early.
I do,
Jay. So look, let me take on just one more subject before you go. Let's go back to this saga, man, with this. Senior district court judge in Durham.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, man. It gets more bizarre each and every day, DL. I know you've done some study and research on this. What are we coming up with?
Well, I love that North Carolina, all 100 counties are on the E system now. So basically what I did was put his name in there. I'm not going to call his address out, but it has it on here, and it has the female's name. I'm not going to call her name out, but it's public information. So the incident happened on the date of the incident.
November 29th.
Let me go back up here. Yeah, the incident happened on 29th, and the summons was issued. The warrant was issued on the 8th. My only issue is that for domestic violence, if an officer goes on the scene and both parties are there, if that officer has reason to believe if I don't make this arrest, somebody could be seriously injured, harmed, or killed, I'm going to make this arrest. People assume that you have to make an arrest based on injury. Now, your department can say you better make it if you see one injury, but the law doesn't say that. Anyway, this was not an arrest on the day of the incident. So somebody investigated it, and the news people didn't do us any justice by not asking follow-up questions, who did the investigation, all this and that. So they, instead of issuing a criminal summons, which is like the subpoena to come to court, they issued an arrest warrant. And they have the lady's name, and this is what they say happened, because they have to put exactly what happened. He did strike a female person by grabbing her neck and hand. The defendant is a male person and was at least 18 years of age when the assault and striking took place. And that was it. And then it was domestic violence. So there was a relationship between the two. And this happened, like I said, he didn't do 48 hours, which to me didn't need to do 48 hours, because if they found probable cause on the day of the incident, he should have done 48 hours. I just don't understand. I would have loved to know if a special prosecutor come involved. I don't like judges being arrested for he say, she said.
Yeah, I totally agree. It can ruin a career, and I totally agree with you on this. I have not, other than seeing, some brief articles about it. I don't know this judge. I do live in the city and the county of Durham, and it's getting quite a bit of local press out here. But again, I think more information needs to come out before I'm comfortable even really talking about it any further. Just allegations at this point, correct?
Correct. Well, this is what I read from a statement from his lawyer. Now, I was talking to Deal about that. I don't know if his lawyer would say this without having, some type of proof or backup to it. But he said that, look, that he said it never happened. He said it was in a public place, and that the one witness that they have said that it didn't happen, not in the manner in which was being described. And that's what's the troubling part there. But I'm like DL with this. It's just that, okay, you could issue a warrant or you can issue a summons. I'm wondering why did it take about 10 days or more for there to be an arrest? It just, I don't know.
A little suspicious to you.
Yeah. It's not. It doesn't follow the protocol, if you will, of a normal domestic violence type situation.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it didn't happen at a home. It's supposedly happened in a public place.
Yeah, that is suspicious.
Let me chime in one more thing. It's the next court date is going to be on the 5th of January, and they moved it to Guilford County, which is Greensboro, which I think is the correct move. I was meaning to email the news media outlets and ask them, why didn't y'all ask follow-up questions? Because my concern is we had a judge in Cumberland County that was accused of trying to hit somebody with a vehicle, and this didn't play out that way. He was never arrested, should have never been arrested, should have never went to court or anything. So I just don't understand how this played out initially.
DL, you need to go to Guilford County and cover the case for WIDU.
Okay,
that's what I'm thinking, DL. Why don't you do that?
That's true.
I will, because I will give you. I'll give Wes and Sandy all my receipts and tell them Troy signed off on it. Great.
Put Troy in the middle of this. Yes. Well, look here, guys. Hold on 1 second here. We're going to go to a break, come back. We got more Fridays with Jay and DL. We'll be back for more following this.
President Donald Trump yesterday signed an executive order to stop excessive state regulation of artificial intelligence. Meanwhile, the president may loosen federal restrictions on marijuana. Craven County murder suspect Dominique Conley has been captured alive. Sheriff Chip Hughes says that Conley was found in an abandoned building north of Vanceboro off Business US 17. The laws for safe travel on North Carolina roads go beyond observing the speed limit and wearing a safety belt. There are several other laws motorists must abide by, one in particular, the fender bender law. And a federal court has ordered the Federal Emergency Management Agency to restore a program that helps protect infrastructure of North Carolina and other states Thursday. Court documents show that North Carolina Attorney General Jeff Jackson filed the lawsuit in July. Mike Traley, NCN News.
I'm Peter Killeen, WIDU Radio News. Authorities arresting a woman this week in connection with a Cumberland County shooting involving a deputy last month. November 25th, about 6:30 p.m., Cumberland County Sheriff's Office went to a domestic call on the 6700 block of Camden Road in Fayetteville. When deputies got there, they say they came across a person with a knife, later identified as 46-year-old Dorothy Simpkins of Fayetteville. A deputy instructed her to drop the knife, but Simpkins lunged toward the deputy with it. That's when the deputy shot Simpkins, who was taken to a hospital for treatment. Simpkins charged this week with assault with a deadly weapon on a family member and felony assault with a deadly weapon on a government official. Fayetteville residents encouraged to apply for upcoming vacancies for the city's boards and commissions. Boards and commissions made up of volunteers appointed by City Council to serve as advisors who help shape Fayetteville's policies and programs. A great way for residents to engage in the community. Some boards may require appointees to have a special license or meet certain professional requirements. From WIDU Radio, I'm Peter Killeen.
We'll be on the lookout this morning for some flurries in our northern counties. Up into southern Virginia, there could be a light dusting on elevated surfaces. Mostly cloudy, otherwise partly cloudy toward the Fayetteville area. The high in the mid-40s to low 50s. Partly to mostly cloudy tonight and cold. The low in the low to mid-30s. Warmer for your Saturday. Mostly sunny with mid-50s to about 60 for the highs. Partly to mostly cloudy on Sunday, windy and colder with temperatures falling through the day. I'm Mike Mays in the North Carolina News Network Weather Center.
If you can no longer work because of illness or injury, you should be collecting Social Security disability insurance benefits. Call Brent Adams now for a free consultation. Don't give up just because you've been turned down. Brent Adams has helped thousands collect full disability benefits even after they've been turned down. Call now, 910-888-8888. Don't hesitate. Call 8. At Brent Adams & Associates, we make things right.
Greetings of the season. On behalf of Pastor and Lady Rouse and the disciples of the House of Emmanuel Church, 3790 South Main Street, Hope Mills, North Carolina, we wish you a glorious celebration of our Christ and a healthy and prosperous new year. God bless you and God keep you.
Sometimes the simplest steps make the biggest difference. Washing your hands often, staying home when you're sick, and talking with your health provider about vaccines.
Help keep your family protected against the flu, RSV, and COVID. Simple steps, big protection.
Defend yourself. Get vaccinated to protect you and your family from respiratory illnesses this season. Visit myspot.nc.gov to find yours today.
Brought to you by the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services.
Greetings, everyone. I'm Apostle Georgia Walker, and on the behalf of New Hope Gospel Ministries, we would like to wish Wes and Sandy Cookman and the WIDU listening audience a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Jesus really is the reason for the season.
Make this your best summer yet by having fun while staying active and engaged. AARP can help. Find AARP events near you by visiting aarp.org/local. That's aarp.org/local to find both in-person and virtual events. You can also learn more about living your best life by listening to AARP Without Limits, wherever you listen to your podcasts.
In this season of love, hope, and reflection, Wiseman Mortuary at 431 Cumberland Street in Fayetteville and Wiseman Mortuary of Garland at 65 North Belgrade Avenue extend our warmest Christmas blessings to you and your family. May this holiday bring comfort, peace, and moments of togetherness that brighten the heart. Thank you for allowing us to serve you with dignity, compassion, and care throughout the year. From our families to yours, Merry Christmas, and may the new year bring renewed strength and grace.
And we're back now for more of what's going on with Jay and DL. And Jay, I know you have to leave early, so I'm going to give you final comments before you get on your trek to wherever you're going.
Yeah, I would just like to say, first of all, I was been watching sports. I watch a lot of sports in the evening, and the big talk is the Michigan coach. Is it Michigan or Michigan State?
Michigan. And I'll tell you what was very disappointing for me. Okay.
I saw some posts where people were making jokes about it, laughing about it, and while I don't agree with what has happened, if these allegations are true, but there's 3 little girls. He has 3 young kids, and the amount of jokes being made about it are just insane to me. I think it's a shame because this was really a blue blood situation for him. He's following what's his name that's now in the NFL. I just forgot his name, the coach. who won the national championship. Yeah, Harbaugh won the national championship, and I think he had a perfect opportunity. To me, it's just sad. That's the first impression I got. People make mistakes, people screw up. I'm not saying that anything he did was right, but it was an opportunity lost. And I was listening to Stephen A. and Stephen A. was just really nasty about it. Pretty much saying terrible decisions and all that, and I get it. But at the end of the day, there are very few opportunities for black head coaches in the top positions in college, and I think that it's not a good reflection. But at the end of the day, he is it's part of a family. He's got 3 kids. Maybe they work things out, but it's an unfortunate way to end his time at Michigan.
Yeah, it's my understanding he was making $6 million a year.
He was making $6 million a year.
I mean, that's a nice check. I'd love to have one of them.
I could deal with $5 million a year, Troy.
All right, look, man.
I don't even need the 6.
I'm gonna tell you, I'll settle for $500,000 a year.
But maybe you guys can talk about it. I just thought it's been in the news a lot. Not sure where it's going to go. I just think it's sad when someone has worked so hard. He's gotten to the pinnacle pretty much of college coaching, and then this happens. So anyway, those are my 2 cents. I hope you guys have a great weekend, and I'll see you next Friday.
All right, appreciate you, man. Thank you so much.
Okay, take care.
Take care. Yeah, DL. Like I said, I don't know. When we get in the middle of these things, and they grow legs all by themselves, and you get in the middle of a controversy like that, and whether it's local or however, I understand how these things work, and we're just gonna have to wait and see how it plays out.
Yeah, I'll agree with you. To see how it plays out. But getting back to the statewide, talking about money, North Carolina auditor, boy, he's been on the road for the last 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, uncovered over $1 billion in accounting error. That's what a B. That's okay. If it had been 1 million, that'd be one thing, but 1 billion, that's the state budget. I think right now the new proposed state budget is $33 billion. So that's one of those 33 in size. That is significant in my opinion.
Well, yeah, that's one of the reasons why state organizations such as, let's for instance say that the UNC college system, the state auditor office can't audit every state organization, city, or county organization every year. It's not attainable. So they have to do sometimes whatever the bylaws are, the local government laws are, they have to maybe do it internally or have to hire somebody local. But when they go unchecked, even churches have to do audits. Some churches have in their bylaws to do audits. Because when you don't do audits, if it goes unchecked for too long, money goes missing.
Right. That's true. You're right. Well, look, let's bleed over into public education here. Anyone that has seen what's going on with the Chapel Hill Carborough school thing being before the State House, that's quite alarming to me. Again, I'm just trying to call balls and strikes here. I don't understand why, because the law has already been passed regarding this stuff, but why would you have those kind of books in a library with little kids? Because one of the books in particular was talking about Santa Claus' husband. I mean, these people are determined to no end to want to push this stuff on little kids. I mean, why would you be doing that to a 4-year-old? That don't make sense.
Yeah, this Griffin is the board's the chairman for Chapel Hill Carborough. They got him on video ignoring the state law. He may not like it, but I just don't. I don't agree with how he handled that situation. I just don't agree. I don't agree with all, because you may not like the law, but our kids at that age anyway, they need to be learning how to read, write, and count.
This is true. What I'm saying is that now when you're looking at, and if I forget how many school systems there are in the state. I think it's something like 100 and I think it's less than 110. But what we have with all of those school systems that we have, what we have on top of that, you know, you got 102 of them that have declining enrollment. And there's no argument about that. Now, we can argue about why there's declining enrollment, but you can't argue the fact that 102 school systems in North Carolina have the declining enrollment. I'm talking about public schools. And, you know, but people are taking their kids out of public schools, even if they have to pay out of their own pocket, and put them somewhere else for a variety of reasons. Now, some people can say, well, it's this or that or the other. You can say, like, in Cumberland County, you know, you have a declining population. But however, in Wake County, where the population is growing exponentially every day, you know, particularly Wendell, Apex, fastest growing cities in the state of North Carolina, people are still doing that. I mean, make it make sense. Let's come up with the reason why people now don't want their children in public schools. Let's not beat them over the head. Let's go ask them why you just don't like this. And I think that that's what we need to do as a state.
Well, it's a number of reasons why people are pulling their kids out of public school. Unfortunately, you had the incident in Forsyth County where a kid got stabbed there on what day was Tuesday. You want your child to feel safe. You don't want your child to feel bullied. And I tell you this, I had a friend of mine when I was a school resource officer years ago. He was assistant principal. And I'll just use his first name, Sean. He one day I was in his office. He showed me a stack of discipline write-ups from teachers. And he said, Paul, I ain't even going to get to this. It was a trash can. Now, mind you, it was nothing that was like kid fight. You know, it's just what I want to say, being a little bit disruptive in class where the teacher probably wrote it up. He couldn't get to it. But I tell you, though, he was putting down effect of that, though. How many times has that teacher had to stop teaching other kids to redirect that behavior? Now, that behavior was important. He wasn't minimizing it, but he just couldn't get to all of it. And I say this to say that. That's stopping some other kids from learning. That's a reason in itself right there. If I'm a parent, why my child not learning? Why is my child sitting with this disruptive kid? So there's many reasons why parents pull their kids out of public school. Now, my opinion, if you're in a low-performing school and if the state wants to compensate you financially to send your child to a private school, I'm for that too. Now, I know folks out there are going to say they take money from public school, but I tell you this, it's a lot of people to pay property tax. I have no kids in any North Carolina public school, but I got to pay property tax. And I know you pay property tax, Troy, but, you know, we don't have any kids in school. So we still have say in what goes on in public schools.
Well, I mean, first of all, I mean, I'm a fact-driven guy. That is 2.6% of the budget that goes to the vouchers. You know, so if 2.6% of the budget can destroy your objectives, I don't think you have very good objectives, first of all.
That's true.
So now, I mean, those are just the facts. Now, you know, we can argue about stuff, but we can't argue about the facts. That's just the facts. And we also, the last budget that was passed, public education was funded. 58% of the state budget goes to public education. Now, that's K through college. So, you know, we must specify that. But at the end of the day, how much more money are we going to dole out for that? In Cumberland County, we have a total now of 27 schools. I think it's something like 33% of our schools are low-performing schools, based upon how the Department of Public Instruction decides whether a school is up to snuff or whatever they call it. I went to that meeting at the Board of elections that night when they had that discussion. I mean, the Board of Education when they had that discussion, and I left there very, very, very troubled because they sat there and they talked about where the problem lies, and the problem was with young African American males. Out of all of the groups, young African American males were at the bottom. Now I'm sitting there listening to the superintendent and all the folk around the table. That's what they said in front of us, a public meeting. I guess it's been about 2 months ago. But, you know, we got to fix that. Because, look, you know what them guys, you know what they're going to do. They're going to cry. Without a doubt.
And shout out to the Cumberland County Board of Commissioners who gave the school system what they asked for. So at least they did their part at the county level. Now, getting back to those black males, if they don't turn it around, I can tell you those state legislatures going to say, hey, Department of Corrections, y'all need some new facilities because they're going to be in that system, Troy. I hate to say it.
Oh, we know that. Look, when I go to the Cumberland County Detention Center for the lawyers that I work for, okay, and I'm interviewing these young men pre-trial, 90% of them are going to be African-American males. And when I ask them a couple of questions, I always ask them 3 questions, you know, to get a conversation going before I start asking them about what they're charged with. I ask them about their family. Most of them, daddy ain't in their home, or they got a problem with daddy, okay? When I ask them about their faith background, they never been in a church, a mosque, or anything like that. So they don't believe in nothing like that. Matter of fact, I was talking to one young man, he told me, I am God. So I know he was off the track, you see what I'm saying? So third one, though, I asked them about education, all right? And when I asked them about that, they don't go past the 8th, 9th, or 10th grade. That's it. Matter of fact, I was talking to one young man because I asked him, what was the last school you attended? He said, Margaret Willis. I said, Margaret Willis? Margaret Willis is a grade school. I said, I didn't ask you which school. I said, the last. He said, that was the last school. And I said, well, how did you fall through the cracks? He said, my mom moved around a lot. And this guy didn't go no further than the 4th grade. Now he's a grown man sitting in front of me, charged with a serious crime. You know where he's going. You see what I'm saying? I mean, you know, now I don't know how to fix this stuff, but I know one thing, we're going to have to do something.
Well, I know if I'm a parent, here's where the church has got to come in, and because I think the church needs to let parents know that, hey, if your child is in a low performing school or your child is being subject to, I would say, bullying or influence, because sometimes these kids can get in trouble just because if you ride the bus with somebody who's in a gang or trying to influence you, and you may succumb to peer pressure just so you don't get bothered. So that's a lot going on with our young black males, because some of them want to do right. I can tell you one thing about these young kids. I always told them when I was school resource officer, some of the math they were doing, Troy, and these kids know how to do this math. I said, man, I couldn't even do that math when I was y'all age, but I wasn't committing some of the crimes they were doing. So the kids are smart. They just don't want to use their smart in the right way.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, they have organizational skills, sir. When they're selling their drugs, they got captains and lieutenants, and they count that stuff in their mind. They're not out there with a calculator. They're doing it inside their head. So, you know, intelligence is not the issue. It's where they are focusing their energy. And, again, you know, I'm a 70-year-old man now, and I've committed myself to trying to help these young men. Matter of fact, I have a meeting today with the principal at Ben Hefner, because we have a men of promise out there working with these young males. A couple of us older guys are going in working with these young males. We meet with the families and with the youngsters, so we get their objectives and their expectations, all that stuff worked out. And so I'm very excited about working with Dr. Backman, you know, because that's what we're going to have to make a difference with. And, you know, some of them, they don't know how to tie a tie, stuff like that, never had on a tie and things like that. We got to work with these youngsters to get them to another level of doing something else, you know. And so I'm excited about that. While I'm still on the planet, I'm going to try to do something for somebody, and that's what we need to do.
Yeah, hey, dude, yeah, if you can save as many as you can save, because I tell you, some of the stuff I've seen on a day-to-day basis, some of the crimes, because the situation that happened. I'll say this before we log off. The sad thing about the stabbing in North Forsyth County is that kids knew this was going to happen because they all piled into a restroom and watched this. They recorded this. So if you was able to get everybody's cell phone number and find out the text message exchange, it'd be sad. Because now these kids got to live with what could I have done as a child? I know that's not on their mind. They don't think like me and you. What could I have done to stop this young man from being stabbed to death?
But, man, I'm told that they plan their fights online. So after school or either in school, wherever, they already know. Like you got a schedule for TV at home. You know what time the game's coming on. They know what time the fight is going to be. They plan that out like that. That's the killer part. Well, look here. Got to get out of here, DL. Appreciate you so much, man. And we have coming up next, we're going to be dealing with Fayetteville State University. And we have coming on Mr. Julius Cook III. And we're going to be talking about veterans and the good things that's happening at Fayetteville State University. So we're looking forward to that. And we'll be back in the following hour with that. But anyway, DL, have a great weekend, man. Like I said, it's supposed to be cold on Sunday and Monday. Wrap up, brother. Take care, man.